of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just a reminder, if everybody has signed in when they came in, I don't think we missed anybody out there.
I don't think so.
Okay. First order of business is to approve the minutes from the 2020 Town Elector Board Budget Meeting held on September 15th. Should have picked up a copy on the way in.
Do you want me to do my little spiel?
After we approve the minutes.
Okay.
I'll entertain a motion to approve if there's any changes.
So moved.
You're approving the budget meeting?
Yeah, September 15th,
September 15th shows it was the annual meeting.
annual meeting. I'm sorry, I said budget, didn't I? It's the annual meeting.
So that's number 3 you're on. Not number 2.
Okay. Well, we'll take 3 first and then we'll do 2.
Just making sure.
Yeah. The September 15th one. Got a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Ratney?
Got it.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now approve the minutes from the November 17th town electors meeting, and that was to approve the tax levy. Okay, we've got a motion to approve the minutes from the November 17th meeting. Do I have a second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, Chris, you want to explain how things go at typical annual meeting?
Yes, I'm going to stand because,
We got a lot of people that have never been to one, so.
all right. First of all, good evening. My name is Chris Estrella. I'm the clerk treasurer for the town. It's really nice to see all of you here. This is, in the 2.5 years I've been here, this is most people who've never had one, so it's nice to see you. For those of you who have never been to a town annual meeting before, I just want to give a quick overview of how things work so everybody's on the same page. First, and maybe most importantly for everybody, if anybody needs a potty break, the town hall is open. Feel free to walk on down. Both bathrooms are open. Everything's fully stocked, so that's just to get that out of the way. If you haven't, Gene already mentioned this, if you haven't checked in yet at one of the 2 tables over there, please go sign in. Go check in. We need to have that for the record of the meeting, just so that's in the minutes for next year's annual meeting. The agenda, does everybody have it? Does anybody not have an agenda? Okay, good. So I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say most of you are here for something regarding the fire station. Once we get through agenda items 4, 5, 6, and 7, there's item number 8 says resident comments, concerns, questions, and actions. The annual meeting is different from a town board meeting in that it is your meeting. It is everybody in this room's meeting that lives in Oakland. So if anybody has a comment, has a question, has a request, would like to take action of some kind, item number 8 is your opportunity to do that. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. Let me see what else I've got. Anybody who would like to say anything, please raise your hand. Gene is in charge of running the meeting. He will recognize you. I'll ask you to state your name just so I can put it in the minutes so I know who's talking about what. And then we're going to have, to be respectful of everybody's time, we'd like you to limit your comments to 3 minutes or less if possible. At my count, there's probably 50 to 60 of us here, so if we all have something to say, that could add up for a while. So please keep your comments to 3 minutes as best as you can. But Gene will recognize you, and there are some limited powers that we can get into later if we need to, that the annual meeting has. If the fire station comes up and we need to talk about it, then we can certainly do that. But if anybody has any questions, I'm here about the process. I don't live in Oakland, so I'm happy to answer your process questions. But typically, in a regular town board meeting, residents are not allowed to interact with the board to ask questions and that kind of stuff because of public meeting laws and open meeting laws. Tonight is, at this meeting, that is an exception. You can pretty much ask whatever question you want, ask for more information. We will respond to you as best as we can. Any questions before I sit down? Feels good to stretch. Okay, thank you.
Ready to do oath?
Yes. And before we get started, I'm going to swear in, some of you may remember we had an election a couple of weeks ago, so I'm going to swear in our existing town chair and our existing town board supervisors. Those are agenda items, so we're going to address that, but just, if you want to clap for them, that's cool. I always think it's cool after getting sworn in. It's kind of a big deal. All right. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Eugene Kapsner,
I, Eugene Kapsner,
having been elected or appointed
having been elected or appointed
to the office of town chair,
to the office of town chair,
swear or affirm
swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of said office
of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. And next, I'll step down to Ted. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Ted Bratney,
Ted Brantley,
having been elected or appointed
having been elected or appointed
to the office of Town Supervisor,
to the office of Town Supervisor,
swear or affirm
swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of said office
of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. This is like the best part of my job. Seriously. I, Joy Graffin,
I, Joy Graffin,
having been elected or appointed
having been elected or appointed
to the office of Town Supervisor,
to the office of Town Supervisor,
swear or affirm
swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of said office
of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the balance sheet that was prepared by our town auditor. The full audit is not done yet. It will be probably in the next week.
Yeah, we'll probably get it in May.
And we will have copies at Town Hall if you want to take a look at it. But I thought it was important we put the balance sheet together for you to get a look at tonight. And as you can see, we got a balanced budget, which we're required to do. We do have some fund balances. That's probably the most important one for us as a board, because that's what we use to fix roads and that type of thing. So take a look at it. If you got any questions, please raise your hand, and we'll do the best we can to answer those questions. Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the balance sheet.
And anybody can make one.
Yes.
It's not just anybody up here. Any of you can make one. Who did that?
Tom
Can I
Brown.
get your name, please?
Do I have a second?
Dennis?
Okay, got a motion and a second to approve the town balance sheet from 2020. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Next item is discussion and possible action on establishing a date and time for the 2022 annual meeting. We have to do that by the third Tuesday of the month after the election, which is Tuesday, April 19th, 2022, unless it's changed here at this annual meeting. Do I have a motion to accept the date for the 2022 annual meeting of April 19th, 2022?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to accept the meeting for the April 19th, 2022 meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Who's-
Jeff Newcomb.
Gotcha.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next item is residents' comments, concerns, questions, and actions. Barb?
Yeah, I have a request. Years ago, for many years, we used to get a printed copy of the budget at the annual meeting. And if that's costly or inconvenient, I would propose that we put it online so that it can be looked at and shared. I personally would like to know how our money is being spent. And I don't feel that we all need to run to the town hall to look at the budget, that it should be available. So I would propose that it is put online so that we can, anyone can access it, take a look at it.
Is that doable?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we agreed to do that, didn't we?
I don't think we put the full budget on the website.
We put the summary budget online.
Summary budget we
Yeah.
put on the
No, we
website.
can do it. Absolutely, we can do it.
There's nothing online right now.
You want me to, I can respond to that if you'd like. We put, come budget time in the fall, we put the summary budget online, but you're right, the full budget is not online. I'm happy to do that.
Well, when I look today, I see anything, a summary or anything.
Right, and you're right, there's nothing there.
Okay,
But in the fall, there was.
In the fall, there was,
okay.
but today, there is not.
Any other comments or concerns? Yes.
I'd like to speak to the non-binding referendum for the fire station.
Could you state your name, please?
Barbara Serwin, Cerwin. Since it did not pass in the town of Oakland, what is the next step the board will be taking, or is there no step to be taken?
Kind of a tough one to answer. We are having a commission meeting the 29th, and that'll be certainly a full topic at that meeting. We have some ideas at this point, what we might propose, but they have to be approved by the commission before we can go ahead and do that.
Is that an open meeting, or?
Yes. Yes.
Tom Serwin, what commission are you referring to?
The Fire and EMS Commission?
Is that made up of the communities that were involved in the referendum?
Yes. One member from each community.
Okay, now seeing that not all the communities were in favor of the referendum, what kind of position would that put Cambridge in? I mean, Oakland. I mean, if some are binding and not going to go in on it, would that increase the responsibility of Oakland for the fire station?
Well, there again, we have an IGA with the 5 municipalities. And until something changes in that IGA, where all 5 municipalities are bound by that IGA, international, intergovernmental agreement.
Gene, can I answer it a little bit more directly on?
Go ahead.
Your specific question is, what are we doing? The answer is, we are honoring what happened in the referendum, and we're not putting a ballot or an issue before you tonight to proceed with any funding. And we'll have to wait and see what the fire commission, how they take a look at it. And then if there are opportunities to approach this differently in the future. But as far as what the town is going to do, we have taken the advice of the referendum ballot and we're not requesting to fund it tonight.
Okay, any other comments or concerns?
What time is the meeting on the 29th?
Fire commission.
Who,
What time is the meeting on the 29th?
6:30.
Is that held here or?
It'll probably be here. We're still a little, we don't really want to bring too many people into the fire station at this time, so it'll probably be here at the town hall.
When will there be a definite location specified?
For that, you can mark that down, it'll be here. I already have the hall reserved, so.
And can people from the town of Oakland speak at that?
Sure. Yeah, that's an open meeting, just like our board meetings are, so we have public comment available at those meetings. Any other comments or concerns? Yes.
Paula Cockrell. Would comments at that board meeting be binding? Would public comments be binding?
No. No.
I should go on record as saying that I do believe that we need a new fire station. But I should also go on record that saying that I think we're asking for a Cadillac and we might be able to get by with a Chevy. My concern is that if we don't take a vote tonight, based on your meeting coming up in the future, this body may not have an opportunity to vote.
Yes, they would. Yes, they would. Before we could act as a board, as a town board, we would have to have another elector meeting to do that. So if they come up with a different plan or, less money, whatever it would come up with, in order to get that approved here at the town, it would have to be at an elector meeting, just like this.
All right, thank you.
Gene, correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't all 5 townships have to agree to that?
There's only 3 townships.
Sorry, village.
The villages make their own decisions. They don't need to have a public meeting.
Okay, so explain to the people what would happen if there's a new idea. How would that process look?
I have no idea at this point. I don't know what the new idea is, Jimmy.
I understand we don't know what the idea is, but how does the process look moving forward, I guess is my question.
Well, that's for the fire commission to decide.
Okay.
They would decide, and then it would come to the board.
Then it would be proposed to the
And then we would
various
have-
boards.
We would have the electors meeting prior to it being on the board's agenda for a final vote.
Correct.
Am I correct?
Right.
Okay.
I have a question. Okay, for the villages, it's different than a town, they do not have an annual meeting.
Right.
So if you change, if the fire commission changes the direction, wouldn't they have to be involved and you have to have a separate election? Another election for every municipality?
If I understand right, and I'm not up on village law per se, but if I understand right in the discussions I've had, that is strictly up to the village board.
Except for the fact that you're bringing in, if you come in with a totally different plan, that can make a huge difference on how the electors like to come in as a Chevy, maybe the village, there's one village. Well, Oakland or Rockdale already had approved it. But I mean, I'm saying like Cambridge, maybe the electors would change their mind. That's why I feel everybody should be involved, not just,
That's for the village to decide, not us. I can only speak for how the towns have to operate. And
like you were saying.
you have a little more experience probably than anybody else in the room in that, and towns have different rules than villages do.
Right, but you're saying if the planning commission changes something, they need to notify everybody, and to me, if it's gonna be changed drastically, it needs to go to a referendum, is what I would recommend.
The villages can do whatever they want. I'm just strictly talking about the towns. Any other comments or concerns? Yes, Tom.
Tom Brown, question I have is, in the meeting on the 29th, you said people are going to be allowed to speak. What are the limitations going to be?
What are the
Limitations for what could be presented or talked about?
public comment typically is a 3-minute public comment.
Okay. So what if you can't finish in 3 minutes?
Prepare something and hand it to the people, hand it to the board.
That's where I was headed.
Yeah.
So that there could be not a proposal, but at least an addendum
Yeah.
that says, this is what I think should be done, or we think, or someone thinks.
I've always run a pretty open meeting, Tom. If it takes 4 minutes to present it, I usually don't cut them off at that point.
Well, I haven't been in a lot of meetings where I've talked for less than 4 minutes.
Well, yeah, I've been fishing with you, so I know how that works, Tom.
I guess I'll have to try to improve on that. Thanks, Jim.
Any other comments or concerns? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the annual meeting, and we'll go into our regular board meeting.
Dean, I got one more.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Just so I'm clear on what's going to happen here now, literally nothing's going to happen based on the referendum for Oakland. And then we're going to move ahead to the fire police commission discussion to see what their thinking are, see if people have suggestions that can be used. And then what? And it comes back to the board, or it comes to a vote.
Well, the fire commission would have to come up with a new proposal or whatever, and then it would come back to the municipalities.
Okay, so there's no action to be taken until at least that time.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Who did? Do I have a second? Tom Brown.
I got it.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. That's the end of the annual meeting. We'll go right into the regular board meeting.
I guess we'll wait a minute.
How you doing, old timer?
I would say is what you do about nothing, right?
Fine, I don't have a problem.
We got one more meeting. One more meeting.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So where'd you go?
Knoxville, Smokies, and Nashville. 3 nights in each. So that
Computer system and stuff. A good friend of mine ran communications center for 2.5 times. Always loved.
It's a nice area. Beautiful. There's a lot of Midwestern retired down here. Lake Tellico was a TVA thing started in 1970. And we stayed on the fingers on that.
Siding wasn't terrible. Yeah, we made it a little more, but metal,
We've done that before.
Would you be willing to sit on that committee? We'll probably be meeting every 2 weeks. I love you. The chief will have a representative from each of the towns that is not on the fair commission.
You get some of that influence.
Yeah, you get to the
But there's a ton of Midwesterners now.
You'd be a member at large.
800 million
not like it.
If you'd be willing to do that.
That's not gonna stop. I'm gonna have to be very careful with this one.
Nice golf courses.
Yeah, it's nice.
This is off the subject, but the solar farm doesn't have anything to do with Oakland, correct?
Rules are there for.
Not the one on Christiana.
To be honest.
Okay, right.
We do have solar farm
Yes,
coming in.
right over here.
Right over,
2 miles away.
off from County Highway G.
Oh, I didn't hear anything about that. Was that in the newspaper?
Oh, yes, there was public hearings
Okay, 2 or 3 years
18
ago.
or 19.
Okay, so it's taken this long for them to kind of get their act
You
together.
could,
Well, and their construction code
we'll
doesn't
start our
start till
regular board
22.
meeting now.
Okay,
But they're all approved and contracts are done.
and how large is that going to be?
It's largely, it's in both Jefferson and Oakland.
Okay, we're gonna call our regular board meeting to order.
Yeah, most of it's town and Jefferson.
Okay,
It's
all right.
along 18 and G.
I'm trying to think where G is. We're fairly new to the
G is
area.
right on the town line.
It's our town line.
Oakland
Okay.
Jefferson town line. It's directly east of here.
Okay.
About
All
3
right.
3 miles.
Okay, first order is the verification of proper public notice.
The meeting was properly published and noticed.
Let the minutes show that all 5 board members are present. Do we have any public comment on items not on the agenda? If not, the next order is to approve the minutes from the March 16th, 2021 town board meeting.
Chris, did you want to comment on the correction?
Yes. Can everybody hear me okay? Yes. Still got it. Ted had called me earlier today and noticed that, of course, at the very top of the agenda, under call meeting to order, that statement is not finished, nor is it correct. It should read, Chair Kastner called the town board meeting to order at 7 p.m. All board members were present, period. So I made that change on the minutes down in the office. I'm going to say I had grad school on the brain, but who knows?
No excuse.
No, I guess no excuse, but he called me about that, so that was, did you have any other changes, by the way, or was?
No, that
Okay.
was
Pretty
it.
good then.
Yeah, that's,
Oh, there is one.
Uh-oh.
There's a speller.
Oh, well, there you go.
oh, there is a, yeah.
Down, discussion of possible action on bids from MyTech.
Yep, I see it.
That's bids.
Bids.
Beyond that, I didn't see anything else. Any other corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the minutes from the March 16th board meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Police chief's report.
Good evening.
Hey, Bruce.
My voice scared us here, that I know. Overall, things are good in the world out here. Traffic has slowed down a little bit. People are taking a little bit of a hiatus. Task force was busy. All the trailer park next door executing warrants. Got some nasty stuff off the street, made me happy. Some real fuzzy about that. The task force is doing a good job in attending their meetings. Sheriff's Chiefs Association met, pretty much just training issues are the big topics of the agenda. Having some problems with Fort Atkinson, some of the hotels with drugs down there, but that's something for the task force to deal with. We won't be involved in that at this point, unless they call us for some silly reason in general. Boat Patrol is looking good. We're getting the docking station set up, so we can actually issue citations now on the waters that have been taken all off and come in and do them in the office and mailing them, and people say, I didn't get my ticket. Yeah, you did. But that's just how the game's played. So we're happy about that. Training issues, we just finished active shooter screening up in Lake Mills. We'll be going into what's called ELOC, Emergency Vehicle Operation Control, high traffic stops. We'll be doing that out at the racetrack coming up this next month. So we're busy with the training and getting everybody back to the recertifications that we have to have. COVID kind of slowed things down, and the State Department of Justice gave us some leeway when we had to get stuff done. So now we're starting to crack the whip that we got to get it done. So we'll be pushing that hot and heavy. Other than that, that's all I got.
Okay, any questions for the chief?
Can I just say something? We really appreciate those signs that were put up on Ripley Road for people to just go to 25 miles an hour, because they have really been going through there much too quickly, so thank you.
I cannot take credit for that. I have to pass it on to the supervisor right here. He's the one that took charge on that, grabbed the rhino by the horns, and round of applause for him.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know there are people that don't think much of those speed signs, but I think they help.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
All you gotta do, coming in on 12 and 18 in the Cambridge, see the brake lights going on.
Oh, yeah.
You see that sign? It's flashing.
Coming down the hill from A, down around my corner there, it's helped a lot.
Yeah.
And that, and the yellow line, the double yellow line. Those
Do you
are
know
the two
that
biggest
if you
things
go
we know.
35 miles an hour, it says slow down? Just, I learned, I was told that.
Not that you would go.
I was
there.
told that.
Chief?
Based on information to believe from a reliable source, I can issue that citation.
Yes.
I was just gonna ask, how do you know that, Ted?
It was revealed to me by the person who set the system
Oh,
up.
I noticed I don't have to pull very many people out of the wetlands there below my driveway anymore, so it's certainly helping, so,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you everyone for approving those.
Okay, if no other questions, thanks. You got one other issue on your agenda?
Yeah, I do. I'd like to thank Christopher, come on down. Christopher Sherrill. I would like two more board to appoint him to the position of police officer. He'll be assigned to our lake patrol. He's going to be our new green one out there, so we'll have to break him in and form him in the mold that I form all my officers.
Don't have to teach them how to swim, do you?
No, he knows how to swim. He does, he's going to learn quick. At this point, overall, he's about to graduate from the academy.
Yep, 4 weeks left.
4 weeks left in the academy, he'll be done.
Good.
And then we'll turn him over to Sergeant Warner for training and growth. And Sergeant Warner and Officer Foyt can work with him a little bit. On a side note, with Officer Foyt, he may be leaving us to a job full-time up in Mayville. I'm going to try to keep him, but when you go to a job full-time, they sometimes count on you working part-time, at least during the probationary period. So we may or may not lose him. I'm hoping to keep him. We'll see what happens. But this is Christmas. If you have any questions, feel free to grow. Tell us what yourself. What's your favorite color?
Favorite blue. I go to school at Dallas Stevens Point. Got 1 more year left, and I'll get my bachelor's in conservation law enforcement, minors in wildlife and criminal justice. Academy's done in 4-ish weeks, and I'm excited to start working in law enforcement.
Super.
Okay, super.
Good.
Look forward to having you.
So assuming you guys approve him, I will then swear him in and everybody will be official.
Would you like a motion?
Yes.
I would love one, yes, I would.
I would like to move that we grant an appointment to Christopher P. Sherrera as a Lake Patrol Officer.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve the appointment of Christopher Shires as a seasonal appointment to the Lake Patrol Officer. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Hold your applause. We've done this already tonight. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Chris Sherrill,
having been elected or appointed to
having been elected or appointed to
the office of
the office of
Oakland Police Officer,
Oakland Police Officer,
swear or affirm
swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the United Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of said office
the duties of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Right away, you gotta follow orders. Okay, next item, clerk treasurer's report.
We have a question.
Oh, shoot.
Hi, Jay, just got a question for you. When we see an infraction on the lake, what is the phone number that any of us here can get a hold of? You know, I got Bruce's phone number, what is the phone number? Is it published? You know, we see an infraction on the lake, I've seen skaters that go inside. Is that place phone number available to all these people here? And I've called a number of times as far as, Bruce, I know Bruce for many years and all that, but to the public here, what is the phone number if we see an infraction in the lake? Or need help on the lake, either one. Like the Deckers 2 years ago, when
Okay.
who do we call?
I'll let Sergeant Warner answer that question.
Good evening. The best thing you can do for anybody that's on the lake, if you want to report an infraction, call the sheriff's department. We can get that number published for you. It goes straight to dispatch on the weekends, and they will inform us. We have radios on our boats, and they're in constant contact with us, and they'll let us know where the infraction is at. And as always, you've done it before. If you see us, you can always point it out as well.
Okay, then
We get a lot of those. The sheriff's department, I can give it to you now if you've got something to write down on.
No, I'm just,
Or, well, I believe we could probably put it on our website if Chris chooses to do so.
I can do that.
The non-emergency number will.
For dispatch?
Through the dispatch.
Yeah.
It's probably a good idea.
Call 911.
I'm sorry?
If it's an emergency, you call 911.
Yes, please. If it's an emergency, call 911. That is very important. We've had to use that quite a few times, and it's saved lives in doing so.
whether an infraction or an accident, it's just.
Infraction,
What's the available number?
The accident should be 911,
Okay.
because that has to be reported right away, and I have to contact DNR as well, and they have an investigator come out. But any kind of infraction that you see, please call the sheriff's department, and then they will contact us.
No, I know we got Bruce's number,
Yeah.
on my.
But he may not be available, and a
Yeah,
lot
I
of times,
understand.
if we don't have somebody on the road, there may not be somebody in the office to get the phone call, so you're better off calling the sheriff's department, who we use as a dispatch center.
And the guys that's gonna be out there can react.
Yep,
Hopefully.
yep, they will call us on the radio and tell us exactly what the infraction was and where it was at. Or who we need to contact.
I see a lot on my side of the lake all the time, guys skiing inside the buoys,
Okay,
silver mounts, one, all the time, so.
okay.
If you're seeing an infraction that you want to report to us, but it's not ongoing, then I would say contact the police department, leave a message on my voicemail, so I can forward, give us a description of the boat, if you can, a registration number, what the violation is. Don't just call and leave a message saying, I got a guy out there water skiing in a purple boat. Okay, it doesn't do me a lot of good. But if it's something that's happening right then and there, and you're still having the infraction, then call the sheriff's department. If we have a boat on the water, we will respond to it because they will radio dispatch us. If we're not in the water, then, they'll pass it on to us. You've been in this lake as long as I've been, since 1975 and all that. I see the boat one time, and, 11:01, the lake is calm and everything else and all that. The time I see it, it's gone. You recognize the boat, you have no idea where it's coming from.
So if that's happening during the week, generally we always have somebody there from Friday morning till Sunday night. So there's always an officer on the lake Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If it's happening during the week, please call and give us that description and tell us what day it's generally happening, so I can have one of my officers out there at that time, before that time, waiting for that person or persons to do that infraction.
I would say 90% of the time, it's 11:01.
But is it during the weekend or?
Weekend.
during the- Okay.
And I know Bruce and staff, basically Rick will at any time, so he or
I know this guy used to be on Oakland Management District, he lives over in Sylvan Mounds.
Still wrong,
No,
come out and sit back on the beach.
Yep.
I bet you
Well,
they get
take care
somebody.
of him.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's 90%, they're gonna get somebody.
You have a question for me, sir?
Is a video enough evidence?
Oh, very much so. It's very useful. Many times, myself, Officer Armando Berzoni, we've both been out there for 12, 13 years now, and a lot of times we'll recognize the vote or the person on it. For those officers that haven't been out there as long as us, they'll be able to identify the vote as well and call myself or Armando or the chief, and we'll probably be able to tell them who it was or get that information out there as well.
Okay,
Any other questions?
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, next item is clerk treasurer's report.
Okay, everybody hear me okay still? Good stuff. Not too much of an echo. Election day was 2 weeks ago today. We had 919 voters. Everything went like clockwork. We had no issues. The weather was beautiful. I'm really kind of missing it, but election day was awesome. Poll workers were great. So thanks to everybody that came out and voted. It was very smooth. At the end of last year, this is a different topic, but at the end of last year, I wrote a grant. I talked with Chief about this, but I wrote a grant to the Cambridge Community Foundation for $4,000 for the purchase of 2 AEDs. One to replace their aging one on their squad, and then one for the town hall because we never had one. We got the grant. Both AEDs have been received, and the police department has theirs. I'm not sure what exactly they're doing with it. I know it's going to be on the squad, but ours is already installed in the town hall, so the next time that you're in, if you're along the kitchen area, it's right across from the refrigerator. It's got a nice frame of instructions. It's very easy to use. I was trained on it, and I'm married to a nurse, so I kind of know what to do, but it's really easy to figure out how to use it. It tells you what to do. So I was really happy that we got that essentially for free from the Cambridge Community Foundation, so wanted to thank them for that. But that's installed and ready to go. And then by the end of the month, the pier will be in and the buoys will be in as well. Boat passes are already on sale here and at Piggly Wiggly and at the BP in Cambridge, so if you want to get one, they're $20 for Oakland residents, they're $30 for non-residents. But yeah, hopefully it will get warm really soon and we can see some more boats on Lake Ripley, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
That's a seasonal pass.
Yes, a daily pass is $7. If you want to get just a daily pass, $7.
And those will be in by the end of the month, we're thinking?
Yes.
The buoys and the pier?
Yes.
Now, both piers, the one on Ripley Road and the one at the landing? Can we get them both in at the same time?
That's what Harbor told me. By the end of the month, everything should be ready to go.
Well, Jeff and Dave.
Jeff-
put-
Or yes, sorry, Jeff and Dave, yes.
Okay.
Everything should be good to go by May 1st, so.
Okay, next item, discussion of possible action on a request from Paul Stokes to suspend the slow no-wake order on Lake Ripley prior to 11 a.m. on May 22nd. Paul here?
Yes.
There you go. You want to tell us what you're doing?
Little background on me, I've been a professional water skier for about 10 years. I've been in water ski tournaments since I was a little kid. This particular event it's for grassroots development, it's the season kickoff. And if you read my little letter that was included in the packet, you took
2 skiers behind one boat, barefoot water skiers, and the boat goes in a figure-8 pattern, and the first person that lets go or crashes, lets go because they're tired or crashes, loses, and the other guy advances, the other person. And it's a double elimination bracket. And we're hoping to have 35 to 40 competitors. The competition will probably take about 5 hours, but ideally we're not starting so late in the day at 11. So we would like the opportunity to start the event earlier. The reason we actually picked that specific date is because the water's still cold, and we're not expecting to have much traffic on the lake, even once the wake zone opens. From my experience, 3 generations being on Lake Ripley, I'm a new guy, I'm 20 years in through marriage, but in our experience, there's not going to be much action that early in the season because the water will still be quite frigid. My boat, so you know, is the red and white ski boat that has a tower and then it has an extension off the tower. It's like this really high pole. So if you've seen the boat, you've seen it. And you've never seen it skiing inside the buoys or outside of no wake zone times. We're very respectful of the lake, and these guys come to that boat. So that's basically what it's about.
And you'll be taking off from Ripley Park out to about the middle of the lake, is that how I understand this?
That's what, I have a meeting set with the park manager. I assume that they're going to be okay with this going out of the park. I don't see that being a problem. If not, we do it out of our property, which, if you know where all the boats parked in the shallow sand, that's right in front of our place, but we're not the crazies. But that's where our spot is, whatever it is, and something's part of it. But the hope is to run it out of the park, and we would probably stay within the width of the park and about halfway out into the lake. If there are other boats moving, we would approach them and cordially let them know what we're doing, and of course they can make a wake too if it's after 11.
You living on the lake, do you, is there any good fishing in that area? Because that's basically who we'll be disturbing.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Not a fisherman, huh?
I like to go fishing with people that know how to catch fish, but I personally don't have much fishing gear.
That is a popular fishing area.
Yeah.
How early are you talking about?
I was hoping to let us run the boats to warm them up about 8:30 and start the skiing at 9.
Okay.
So I'm not talking sun out or anything.
How many boats are you talking about?
One boat will be running the skiers, and one boat will be picking up drop-off skis and be more of a safety boat, but that boat will just be idling. So there'll be only one boat at speed.
The concern that I and our board meaning the Lake Ripley Management Board, will have obviously is the wake that's created in the spot where you're skiing will affect the whole lake, because that wake will go clear across and affect all the fishermen on the lake. So I certainly appreciate your wanting to recreate during that time, but we do have a lot of fishermen obviously there too, and we have to be conscious of that. So there's a reason why the no wake rules are there, for that balance. And we want to make sure that balance always stays. And my fear and our board's fear would be that once something like this would start, there would be more requests and more times, and then where are we? And what does that do for our lake as a whole? And look at it this way also, what would the recreation people feel if we wanted to have fishing tournaments up until 9 o'clock at night and make the no wake change the other way? So it works both ways, and that's why we do have that balance.
Sun up and sundown, and you can have it in the middle of the day if you want.
Yeah. So those are the concerns that we share, and that's why this can get really slippery really quick. Okay, so just want to say all that.
And the reason you can't start at 11 o'clock?
There's no reason I can't. It'll be rougher. It's just waiting that long to start the event. People are traveling to come in, and they'll probably be there at 7:30 or 8 nice not to.
I mean, that's, after 11 is when the fishermen are off the lake, basically.
Yeah, and you're into the early part of the opening day is the first weekend in May. And so a lot of the guys, I'm almost always out there every weekend once May hits, and I want to be done by Memorial Day. And so I'm with you, Jimmy, a little bit. I'm struggling. That's when a lot of our fishermen are out. I'm also worried about the precedent of releasing that. So I'm really struggling to see a real strong benefit to this.
Is this, I guess, when you look at the event as a whole, where did you hold the event in the past, and why Lake Ripley? Because it is a very small lake for something like that. You would think there'd be larger lakes that would allow, like Rock Lake, I don't think has a wake rule. I mean, you could go out there at 6 in the morning.
Rock Lake has a wake rule.
They do?
Yeah.
We own property 150 feet of shoreline on the lake. The last time the Madison area hosted an event, we had it on Bridgeman Bay off Monona, which is a weedy, nasty mess. We could probably get approval to have it there, but it's just nasty. I just thought it would be cool to do an event and mark the dollars that people are spending to
Yeah.
the bar and pizza and the local town there.
Well, the bar's not open at 8:30 in the morning, I don't think, but it could be. But we could enjoy it at 11 just as much.
So you're
But you don't
saying,
get what you don't ask for, so I understand your pushback.
Could
It'd
we?
be interesting to see how many fishermen are out there at 9 o'clock on May 22nd. My guess is not very many, but
There's a lot. There really are.
30 as well.
Yeah, there's quite a few fishermen on that lake. And the earlier when the water's cold is when they want to be out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can sell it any harder, so
Okay.
I don't know if it's one of your programs.
Well, I mean, I think we certainly could support it at 11. I mean, because you're still talking about buoying off a portion of the lake that a lot of people won't be able to use during that time, so that is a pretty good compromise.
what do you do with the swimmers from the beach area, if there are any? That would be completely closed down then?
Well, the swim area buoys, to my knowledge, are not in yet by Memorial Day weekend, or they go on right at Memorial Day weekend. So my understanding is that the swim buoys will not be in. I guess I can confirm that in my meeting with,
But
Do
you
we-
might still have swimmers.
yeah, and they're happy to swim.
Okay, so it wouldn't
Yeah, it won't
interfere
affect
with
the
that?
activity in the park at all.
Okay, that was my question.
Now, we won't be coming to shore with the boat under power any closer than the no-wake zone buoys that are dispersed throughout the lake. We're not gonna be coming ripping, right by shore.
You know, well, there's one hand here, but I'll just say one more thing. I think, and from what I'm reading, the temperature of most of the board and some out here is we could support the event by allowing you to, I don't want to say buoy off a portion of the lake that you're going to use after 11. I mean, the before 11 thing is really a sticking point, I think, for most people. And I think most of us could get behind, you utilizing more of the lake than most would during an event, if that helps you any. But that's just me.
From what I understood from the sheriff, there was no regulations in place that I couldn't have the event anyway. But I didn't.
I'm not sure what that means.
Well, he said that there was no rule against us having a tournament. So I didn't know that I needed, and I'm not being pushy, I mean, I'm thankful for your compromise. But from what I understood, I didn't necessarily need permission to have the event.
You don't need permission to have the event during regular skiing hours.
Right. The only thing he's asking for is to move the slow no wake back to, he wants to get out there with a wake at 8:30 in the morning.
Correct.
And
I understand what you're asking for. I guess the question maybe you're saying is putting the extra buoys in the lake. Is that what I'm understanding or no?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if maybe gotta do, but from what I understood, I didn't need permission to put buoys in the lake. They're not
Buoys,
required.
buoys are permitted by the DNR.
Permanent duty buoys are.
I'd have to check into that more, but I mean,
I don't think a temporary buoy is.
Just a question, are you asking for just a special day?
sorry.
Just for skiers at one time, or through the summer?
One day, 2.5 hours.
I don't know, Jay, I've been this lake since 1975. We used to have ski shows on this lake by Caius's, Bob Johnson, and people from Cedar Shores.
Bob Johnson,
Where we took the buoy, they would always, the DNR would come down involved. They would always take the buoys away, we got all the skiers out of the lake. The Caius's, the Bob Johnsons, that. And we had kids in this lake that basically gave a ski show.
that was my wife, the Lake Ripley ski team, that was my wife.
Okay, let's move on. What he's asking for is for the board to consider moving the slow no wake back to 8:30. What's everybody's feeling?
I'm opposed. I think the event can be taking place at 11. I don't know.
What if we compromise?
If you're going to compromise once, you're going to do it a lot more times.
Yeah, I'm concerned about the precedent, that's all.
Yeah, you set a
So-
precedent, and
Go at 10 o'clock instead of 11 o'clock?
I can't. We can, you can hold the event at 11. There's reasons why we have the no wakes, and that's the reason why we have the balance between fishing and
Make a motion.
recreation.
You want a motion?
And everybody I've spoke with, most people we speak with really appreciate that balance. That's kind of where I'm at.
I would move to not grant a waiver to the no wake zone for this event.
I'll second.
okay, we got a motion and a second to not grant the waiver to the slow no wake. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Start at 11.
We'll support it now.
Thanks, Paul. Okay, next item, discussion and possible action on a request to donate $500 to the Union Cemetery Association. That is in our budget, by the way.
It's money, you move it.
I'll move to,
It's money, you move it.
which one are we on? The $500?
Yes, 500.
$500 to Union Cemetery Association.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve the request to donate $500 to the Union Cemetery Association.
You should.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Cemetery season. Next item, discussion and possible action on a request to donate $1,200 to the North Oakland Cemetery Association. This is also in our budget.
Make a motion that we approve the request to donate $1,200 to the North Oakland Cemetery Association.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve the request from the North Oakland Cemetery Association for a $1,200 donation. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. It says court dockets, but I didn't see any
I
court
didn't get
dockets.
it.
No document.
We didn't make it in time.
Okay.
Next time.
Jefferson County Comprehensive Plan, Farmland Preservation.
That's purely an informational item.
Right, right.
We've talked
That's-
about that, and we've had a discussion about that. It's just now the final document is up and online and available, and they just sent out a press release telling everybody that it is there and what the major changes were, which is what we went through a couple of months ago. We discussed that, so it's just an informational item.
Say again?
Was there any much changes in Oakland, part of it, the comp plan?
There was a refinement, and I would say rather than a change, a refinement to understand that our urban service areas that are designated are properly designated and are available for development in accordance with our rules and stuff, and an effort to have more cooperation in discussions between the county and ourselves on things like bike path. They go out and the county designates a bike path out on Shepherd Road, which we were prepared to turn back to gravel, and we had to turn around and pave it because it's designated a bike rack. They didn't ask us about it. So they've agreed to say, yes, we're going to have more discussions because they impacted our budget and our ability to do other things because we then had to repair Shepherd to make it a bike path. So yes, there was more of a cooperative statement, and I'm answering this because I was our representative on this process. So not a lot of wholesale changes. The plan very much, I mean, we are still very much a rural county and advocating for agriculture and agricultural businesses, but also understanding that, development is not a bad thing. It just needs to be done in accordance with plans, and we have a very good comprehensive plan in the town of Oakland, and our plan committee does a good job of following that. So
I'll have to look at it again, it's been a while.
it should be up online, Chris, the most
That's it.
recent comp plan.
It says it is.
And quite honestly, there were only a couple of minor changes that were word changes that were done in our comp plan.
Yeah, it says
So-
the updated comprehensive plan and farmland preservation plan can be found on the county's website at this time. So I'd like to also take this opportunity to thank Ted for all the hours he put in on behalf of the town of Oakland on updating that county plan.
You're up.
Okay, approval of disbursements.
I'll make a motion that we approve disbursements, beginning with electronic funds transferred to the Wisconsin Retirement System through and including electronic funds transfer 452-18436 in the aggregate amount of $220,020.06.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to approve disbursements in the amount of $220,020.06. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next meeting date, April 27th, and that's a 2 o'clock meeting, correct?
2 o'clock?
2
2
p.m.
o'clock to award road bids.